a decorated US soldier in Afghanistan chose to abandon his base and murdered 16 unarmed Afghan villagers, most of them women and children. In the pre-dawn hours of March 11, 2012, Robert Bales carried out executions across multiple homes, returning once mid-rampage. Eventually he pleaded guilty and received life without parole, but his actions exposed deeper questions about war, trauma, and accountability. Staff Sergeant Robert Bales, born June 30, 1973, in Norwood, Ohio, that had completed 4 combat tours in Iraq and Afghanistan in March 2012, while stationed at Camp Billimbay in Kandahar province. He slipped away from his post twice in under 2 hours, armed with an M4 carbine, an M9 pistol, and night vision goggles. At approximately 3:00 a.m. local time, he attacked 2 nearby villages, Al-Khazai and Balandi, also spelled Najiban, killing 16 civilians and injuring 6 others, including 9 children. According to multiple reports, 11 of the fatalities were from a single family, and some victims were found shot at close range, stabbed, and partially burned in their homes. After the first wave of killings, Bales returned to base, reportedly waking another soldier and saying, "I just shot up some people," only then heading back out to commit the second phase of the attacks. Once detained later that morning, he told superiors plainly, "I did it," expressing no remorse at the time but later, during sentencing, describing the massacre as an act of cowardice behind a mask of fear and bravado. The aftermath was devastating. Members of the same Afghan villagers flew to the US to testify during Bales's court-martial, sharing harrowing descriptions of the loss they faced. Haji Mohammad Wazir, whose wife, mother, and 6 of his 7 children were killed, spoke in court through a translator, stating they'd come for justice and felt betrayed by Bales's lenient sentence. Bales's defense lawyers argued he was suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder (PTSD), traumatic brain injury, alcohol and steroid use, and personal stress, citing marital woes, financial struggles, and the emotional toll of his deployment. Yet the defense opted not to call expert mental health witnesses in court, fearing procedural pushback. The prosecution countered that Bales's actions were methodical and calculated. He was seen walking back to camp with a steady gait, undeterred by the chaos he'd left behind. In June 2013, Bales pleaded guilty to 16 counts of premeditated murder, 6 counts of attempted murder, and 7 counts of assault, part of a deal to avoid a potential death sentence. On August 23, 2013, a military jury sentenced him to life in prison without parole, the maximum punishment under military law. He was also dishonorably discharged, demoted to private, and stripped of pay and benefits. Despite the sentence, many survivors and Afghan officials decried it as inadequate. Some demanded that Bales be tried, if not executed, in Afghanistan itself. They believed that the sentence represented just a sliver of accountability relative to the magnitude of violence inflicted. US law allows clemency petitions after 20 years, but the jury rejected any parole possibility. The case received comparisons to the My Lai massacre during Vietnam, underscoring its historical significance as one of the deadliest rogue actions by a single American soldier in recent conflict history. Investigations and internal reports revealed that Bales had a documented history of erratic behavior even before the massacre. He had previously assaulted an Afghan truck driver and displayed aggressive conduct linked to steroid use. These behavioral red flags were ignored by superiors at Camp Billimbay, which was reportedly characterized by lax discipline and poor oversight. Soldiers later remarked, "He's the only one crazy enough to do it." In media interviews, including one with GQ in 2015, Bales shared haunting reflections on the massacre. He claimed to have felt consumed by rage in the days leading up to the shootings, triggered by the death of a fellow soldier and compounded by sleeplessness, alcohol, and mental fatigue. He expressed more guilt over letting down his fellow soldiers than for the Afghan victims, and speakers who survived described ongoing nightmares and trauma. Mohammad Wazir, who lost nearly his entire family, used condolence payments to start a dress shop, yet acknowledged his grief remains vivid whenever he revisits his former home. Bales has exhausted all military appeals, though his legal team has sought a retrial in civilian court, citing possible side effects of mefloquine, a controversial anti-malarial drug, but so far without success. As of now, he remains incarcerated at the United States disciplinary barracks under a life without parole sentence, widely seen as the harshest military sanction, short of capital punishment.